A very good, a very good afternoon. No one. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I'm extremely gratified to get this opportunity to address you all in this wonderful event conducted by the Department of BSc CS with Artificial Intelligence of SA College of Arts and Science. On behalf of Mavericks and Byte Club, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you. Today is a magnificent day as we all come together to mark the inauguration of a Mavericks and a Byte Club. Computer science captivates us with a promise and an endless exploration, where each algorithm is a step towards unraveling the mysteries of the digital universe. This very day is packed with an enlightening with a tech talk on prompt engineering and inauguration of our club by our esteemed chief guest. Before we begin our day, prayers makes impossible things possible. Once prayers become the habit, success becomes the lifestyle. Thus, let us invoke the God's blessing on us through Tamil Thai Varthu. We will start with a prayer song, a tradition that helps us connect with our inner selves and the greater purpose of our assembly. So I humbly request everyone to rise up for the prayer.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் மதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டனிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Thank you everyone. Please be seated. May the Spirit of God guide us through towards inauguration seminar, inspiring us to share, learn and grow together. The lamp light represents the hope and the promise of the new beginning. May it inspire us to seek knowledge and spread positivity. It is a symbol of dispelling of darkness and the ushering in knowledge, wisdom and prosperity. It signifies the light of truth, the warmth of love and the glow of hope. I request our dignitaries to light the Kuttu Velakku. Thank you everyone. Achievement is not about what you have done, but what you have gained from experiences. Our esteemed chief guests have made a remarkable achievement, and a part of us, Ms. K. Devi, is here to welcome our marvelous guest.
Fantastic afternoon to one and all gathered here, and a very warm welcome to the inauguration event of Mavericks and Byte Club. Today we gathered to celebrate the launch of an exciting and innovative initiative aimed at fostering creativity, collaboration within our college community. First and foremost, it is my pleasure to welcome our principal, Dr. Maldi Selvakumar. We welcome you, ma'am. Your unwavering dedication and visionary leadership have been instrumental in shaping our institution into what it is today. Your commitment to academic excellence, holistic development inspires us all, and we are grateful for your guidance. Next, I would like to extend a heartfelt welcome to our esteemed director of the college, Dr. V. Sai Satyavadi. We welcome you, ma'am. Your strategic insights and the relentless pursuit of innovation have driven our college towards new heights. Your efforts in fostering a culture of excellence and inclusivity have made a significant impact on our community. We are also honored to have with us our respected correspondent, Mr. P. Venkatesh Raja. We welcome you, sir. Your diligent work behind the scenes ensure that our communications and operations run smoothly. Your attention to detail and commitment to efficiency are truly commendable, and we appreciate all that you do. Finally, it is a privilege to welcome our chief guest, Mr. V. Prakash, and I also welcome Mr. K.C. Vinod Kumar for today's event. We welcome you, sir. Your remarkable achievement and contribution in your field have set a benchmark for excellence. We are deeply honored to have you with us today, and we eagerly look forward to your inspiring words. It is my great pleasure to welcome our faculty, Mr. R. Krishnan, Head of the Department of Computer Science with Artificial Intelligence, for today's event. We welcome you, sir. Your passion for teaching and mentoring shapes the mind and futures of our students, and it is through your efforts that we continue to uphold our institution's esteemed reputation. Last but not least, I welcome all our new and returning students. We are thrilled to have you here today. And I also welcome the BSc AI student for this event. Let's embrace the opportunities to learn and grow and make lasting memories. Together we can achieve great things and make a positive impact on both within our club and beyond. Once again, a warm welcome to each one of you. Thank you for being here and making this event truly special. Thank you.
Thank you, Devi. We are fortunate to have our chief guest, whose expertise and insight will provide valuable learning to us all. Now, I invite Mr. R. Krishnan, HOD of BSc CS with Artificial Intelligence, to facilitate our chief guest. Mr. V. Prakash, sir. Mr. K.C. Vinod Kumar, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Today marks a significant milestone as we come together to celebrate the beginning of a new journey filled with innovation, creativity, and community. It's time now. I request the chief guest to inaugurate our Mavericks Club and take a moment to address the board members of the club. Thank you, sir. Now I request the chief guest to present the name board to our club secretary and joint secretary, Ms. S. Amudavarshini and Mr. V. Rohit Kumar. I now call upon the club secretary, Ms. M. Amudavarshini, to take the responsibility and address the Mavericks Club and unveil the objectives. I now request the chief guest to present the name board to our club heads, Secretary Mr. Aditya and Joint Secretary Ms. E. Gopika. Thank you, sir. I now call upon Club Secretary Ms. M. Amudavarshini to take responsibility and address the Mavericks Club and unveil the objectives.
A pleasant afternoon to everyone. Welcome our estimated guests, staffs and my dear friends. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all the inauguration of the Mavericks Club, a vibrant community of the two advancing research skills and methodologies under the visionary guidance of our head of department, Mr. Krishnan sir. The Mavericks Club is dedicated to the nurturing the next generation of researchers and innovators. Our club offers a variety of activities designed to enhance your research capabilities. Workshop on research methodologies. Learn both the fundamentals and advanced techniques and conducting research. Survey designs. Master the art of creating effective surveys for research purposes. Data projects. Participate in projects that involve collecting, analyzing, and interpreting data. The goals of the Mavericks Clubs are skill enhancement, improve your research and analytical skills, professional development, prepare for real and world research and academic presentations. We also invite each of you to join this platform. By becoming a member, you will not only gain a valuable skills, but also receive a recognition of your efforts through certificates and other incentives. We are committed to motivating and encouraging our members to excel in their research endeavors. We are thrilled to have you join us. We are embark on this journey of research, excellence, and professional growth. Thank you for being here to celebrate the launch of the Mavericks Club. Thank you, everyone.
Another new beginning of a new and exciting chapter where we unite and explore, innovate, and excel in the fascinating world of technology and computer science. I now call upon Club Secretary Mr. Aditya to take responsibility and address the Byte Buster Club and unveil the objectives.
Welcome everyone. I'm happy to see you all here for the launch of Byte Busters Club. This club is a place where we can learn and improve our coding and software development skills. Our head of the department, Mr. R. Krishnan, has helped us to create this club to support you in becoming better coders and developers. Here's what you can do in the club. Coding challenges. Take part in fun coding challenges to get better at solving problems. Hackathons. Join events where you and your team can build real-world applications. Projects. Work on projects that solve real-world problems, giving you practical experience. Mentorship. Get guidance from experienced professionals who can help you with tough coding tasks. Our goals are to improve skill, make your coding and software development skills better, to get experience, learn by working on real-world projects and joining hackathons, prepare for your career, get ready for your coding competition and job in software development. To learn together, share ideas and learn from each other and from mentors. We invite you all to join the Byte Busters Club. As a member, you will improve your skills and get certificates and other rewards for your achievements. We want to support and inspire you to do your best in software development. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate the start of Byte Busters Club. Let's work together to make a bright and innovative future in software development. Thank you.
I humbly request our chief guest to commence the session by a valuable speech.
Hi, very good morning all. Many congratulations to all the students for this Maverick and Byte Buster Club. I hope all of you to become the, digital Maverick leaders under the leadership of Professor Krishnan. We've been working with him for a long time. It's been more than 2 decades that we've been working with Professor Krishnan, and he's always been an inspiring leader more than a professor and true academician. He always wants to contribute what best that he can do for the students community, and I wish all of you the very best of luck. Take opportunity and ensure that you're able to take this club to the next level. I could see a lot of students' participation straight away on this exciting moment. Before we move on to the today's session, I thought I'll quickly introduce me, my company, the whole objective, why we've been asked to assemble as part of this particular event. Quickly, we all represent a company called Digitarati. I need someone's help when I say, next slide. Yeah. Slide. Yeah. We all represent a company called Digitarati. We've been there in the training industry for more than 3 decades. So quickly to introduce who we are. We've been there in the industry for 30 years. That's all fine who we are. In a nutshell, we are a skilling scientist. Our objective is to make sure that our support organizations to ensure they have future-ready workforce. So we support with our trainers to ensure that every resource in the organization becomes future-ready. It's not that they become productive for today's requirement, they also become ready for the future upcoming technology. In fact, we can also call ourselves an upskilling architect. Let me introduce you all to you. Isn't it not correct? You all belong to a Google generation. Yes, in fact, you all have a today formal official generation names. You all belong to Gen Z, right? Gen Z or Gen Y? Yeah, in fact, your generation will call our generation as a boomer uncle, right? Tamil சொல்ல வந்துட்டாரியா கருத்து சொல்றதுக்கு, right? Okay, see, for you, everything is Google first. Even you look at God through Google. But why we introduce? Go ahead. What is the need for me to introduce you to you is basically unless you understand where do you stand, and it will be difficult for you to progress what you need to do. So that is the objective. We come with certain background. We help organization. We know the organization well. We know what required and what growth path in which the industry is moving towards. And if you know where you stand, it will be easy for us to take you to the career path or to the job roles specific activity. Next slide. The objective is there is a huge change in the industry, the way they're going to look at resources, the way they're going to look at the people. So-called campus recruitment, no longer campus recruitment will happen in volume. They come bus loads of people being taken away, 1,000 people in SRM, 2,000 people in VIT. All those stories, it will slowly get stopped. It will all be value-based recruitment. In earlier terms, people used to call as an employment. Employment is if you know something, yes, I'm able to take you inside and make you do something. But today, it is no longer employment, it is called a deployment. Deployment is a word. Unless and until I'm able to use you right from the first hour, first minute, it's like an IPL. The moment I bowl first ball, you should be in a position to hit. Otherwise, you're not a player, and you should also play multiple role. You should bowl at least 2 overs. You should be in a position to save 20 runs, and you should at least score 20 runs in 3 balls if possible. That's 20 runs in 3 balls. Is that possible? But that's the expectation from the industry. Max, you can score, if it's a legal delivery, 18 runs in 3 balls. But the expectation is 20 runs. That's the level of expectation. So the key input is no longer people will recruit you if you say that I know something. They would expect you to perform and demonstrate the skills that you needed. That is the key input that industry is looking at. So that's a major change that is taking place. Why major change from the industry in terms of expectation? There's a huge change that is happening on a day-to-day basis with the technologies. You can see here the number of technologies that has been talked. And in fact, today, Mr. Vinod will be introducing a prompt engineering and how it works and all those things. And we're not too sure as we walk out of this room whether the technology will exist. That's the pace at which the technology is changing. So please understand that the technology pace is changing very rapidly. So unless and until I'm up to date, I would not be in a position to take any role. So it is essential that I keep myself updated at any given point of time. That's a key reason why industry is moving towards placement, the way they're recruiting, the way resources are being looked at, everything is undergoing a sea change. Whatever change that we talked about, is it all there in your curriculum? Is it adding value? Then what next? So first, let me give you a brief background, why so much sudden change, why the pace at which the changes are happening and all those things. So generally, when it comes to innovation, any innovation for that matter, it helps huge amount of time saving as well as efforts what human has taken. Unless and until a human's efforts and the time has been saved, that innovation will not be successful. It could be mixy, it could be grind, whatever it is. I've taken X number of time to achieve that particular task. I've taken X number of efforts to achieve that particular task. If that is being saved by a machine, that is called innovation, right? So for example, your telephone system, right? Originally, I was traveling so long to ensure that I go and convey, but that has been changed. The key inflection points started coming in every innovation, in every equipment, every device that I started going onwards, the computational thinking, that I started ensuring that my brain is also saving time. My efforts of my brain is also being taken by the machine. That's when the so-called adding smartness to the devices started taking place, right? So what we started doing is we started adding smartness to everything we started doing. That's when the journey of thinking machine started. In fact, if you allow me to say, example, there is something called hard power and soft power, right? So till the invention of the thinking machine, it is all hard power that has been saving, that has been valued, right? I was taking so much of effort, that has been saved. I have taken so much of time, that has been saved, right? The soft power is more powerful. Whatever I am dreaming, whatever I'm aspiring, I'm able to come with a output. I'm able to dream, this is what my application should be. This is what has to be, automated. Everything, whatever I'm thinking, with the computational thinking, it started achieving. That's when the so-called smart adding intelligence, everything is taking place. Today we are in an era from normal digitization to digitalization has taken place, where the machine started working very near to human. So of course you will get into a deeper understanding of what is AI, how it is going to work. All that will be by Vinod, with all demonstrations and everything. But my objective is to quickly set the context, where we are standing, why we are talking about artificial intelligence, why so much everywhere and anything. Even if you buy a glass, they say AI powered. Even if you buy TV, they say AI powered, right? So what is that is all about? Next slide. So what is AI? Artificial intelligence. I'll summarize my version of what is AI. Basically, AI helps kind of create an ecosystem of what and all human can do that can be done by a machine, is called artificial intelligence, right? It is kind of nearly replacing the decision making of a human done by machine itself. That is what is artificial intelligence. Next slide. most of you, if you're in touch with the technology, you would all hearing this one more term called data science. So what does a data science? You have a huge data getting gathered. Using the data, I'm able to analyze, I'm able to predict what could happen. Most of you even see that in a sports. What does Hawkeye does? In a cricket? It predicts whether the ball hit the wicket or not when it comes to an LBW decision, right? And we use a lot of predictive analysis using that. So when data science can able to predict what it can, so what does the AI does? So that could be our next question. And please understand, AI are completely different. AI uses a data science as a core, but data science at best, it'll help you to find a pattern and give you what it can happen to you, but it cannot take decision. Whereas the human AI creates an ecosystem of making the entire machine take decision on behalf of human. That is AI. Then today's subject, that is what it is. Next slide, please. Then comes prompt engineering. What is prompt engineering? So as we keep evolving, as we talking now itself, I've thrown at least 4 or 5 major terminology. I said the technology is changing rapidly. I said data science, I said AI, and I've come to another term called prompt engineering. Okay. Of course, you will get into a deeper understanding of prompt engineering, how it works, what and all it can give you basically by Vinod, and he has planned with a lot of demos. But when it comes to prompt engineering, how effectively you can use an AI, it's something like if suppose a Java programmer, you're a .NET programmer, you would have heard something called a framework, you would have heard something called an IDE. What it does, it helps you to get your programming much more efficient by prompting certain things, right? If you make a mistake, it'll show you an error. If you get into a specific calling of some functions, it automatically prompts you, all that. Right? Similarly, we build a business context to use the AI engine that is called prompt engineering, and you will get to know more details from Vinod. Next slide, please. How AI works, of course, you will have a demonstration, but generally, this is the most important understanding that we should do. How AI works is basically it reads a lot of data. It continuously, you would have heard terminology like machine learning, supervised learning, you would have learned reinforcement learning and all those things. So what does the AI system does? It continuously learns. Continuously learning and adapting is what AI is all about. How it works? It continuously learns. What does it mean? For an artificial intelligence, it has to learn continuously. If we have to be a super intelligence to use an AI system, how much of learning that we should do? So AI is not artificial intelligence. It is artificial intelligence term for a machine. For you, AI is nothing but adding intelligence. Unless and until you add intelligence by continuously learning and adapting, machine will take over, right? Because we are simulating the human decision by machine, right? So unless and until we start adding intelligence to all this artificial intelligence added to the machine by human intelligence, right? So unless and until we start competing with those machine intelligence, it will be difficult. So how does it possible? The machine, every day, every minute, everything that you type, it is getting read. It is getting learned by the machine and ensuring that it gets adapted to everyday need. When machine does, it's the human that you need to do. It's called adding intelligence. So please ensure that if anyone asks any more time, what is AI? AI, artificial intelligence that machine uses. For you, it is adding intelligence important. I'll give you a quick example. Do I need to introduce him? Thala? Okay, we have a group company, Biovedas, which is into healthcare turnkey consultancy solution. Kaveri Hospital is one of our key client, and we does help them in all aspect of it. One of the key aspect in which we help is we help them do digital marketing. And it was we who helped them sign with Dhoni for their promotions and everything. When we initially signed them, it took about approximately 45 days to 60 days time for us to get an appointment, fix exclusive providers who can work with Dhoni and everything, and there is a shooting happens. The 45 days to 60 days of efforts, approximately 500 people were working to make sure that 30 seconds of an ad. Approximately 500 people, 45 days to 500 into 45, you need to calculate. 500 people, 45 days of working for a 30-second ad. In fact, we were working for 18 days exclusively for Dhoni hairstylist. 18 days exclusively, okay? Why I give you so much of background is that the second and third ad after the artificial intelligence we started using in, we were able to replicate the same ad with just prompt in about 3.5 hours time. Should I repeat? 500 people multiplied by 45 days, and what is the amount that we spent? Anybody can guess? We spent about 9.5 crore rupees. 9.5 crore rupees. Dhoni is very expensive, right? Dhoni's support systems are very, very expensive. What we spent 9.5 crore rupees, 45 days of time with about 500 human resources working for a 30-second ad that has been replicated exactly in 3.5 hours with 7 professionals working, giving a business context to the prompt engineering. And the ad is ready. Whatever you see now with Kaveri, the latest advertisement developed using an AI component. Next slide, please. So I'll quickly summarize. First and foremost, I don't want you to plan career based on today, and I want you to build career for tomorrow from today. Don't plan what is available today and that will be the future. Don't think that. Yeah, you need to build a career today for tomorrow. It is very, very difficult because it keeps changing. I told an example. As we move away from this room, we do not know the tools what Vinod is going to use, will it be in existent or not. That's a pace at which technology is changing, but you need to start today. You need to start building from today. That's the key input. And core plus the computational thinking, it's going to be the key component. So do not miss any of your core subject. If you start thinking that if I learn tool, I'll become master. All the tools can only facilitate the core subject with your computational skill. That is going to be the sustaining job role. And in fact, if you're not interested in getting a job, in a top position, there is no purpose of you attending. Who are not interested in getting a job with the top companies, I strongly recommend do not waste your productive time listening into this prompt engineering. You're all learning the most modern graduation, most modern technology. If your aspiration is going to be 20,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees job, that can be done by a Swiggy driver or a Rapido, yes or no? 20,000 rupees, then why should I do a graduation on calling it as an artificial intelligence, so modern, even the 10, 20 years experience IT engineers struggling to get into those technology, right? You're learning the happening thing, right? So which means your aspiration should be absolute bare minimum 5 lakhs, 7 lakhs kind of a job per annum. So for that, you should listen, you should continuously learn and adapt. That should be your aspiration. If someone tells that AI is going to replace your job, please do not believe. A person learning AI will replace the job. Understand? AI will not definitely replace any job, but if you don't learn AI, you will not be in the job. So which means a person has AI knowledge will replace the person who do not know, who are not using it. So it is key that you should learn AI you should start thinking and dreaming anything using AI as a tool. The way you start using MS Office, now you should start using AI, right? AI is a very productive tool. More you use, more you become master. So I've summarized what is AI for you. It is continuous learning and adapting is what a machine does, and we call it as an artificial intelligence, and it is yours is a true, genuine intelligence. So you should know how much of adding of intelligence that is required by learning continuously and adapting. So that's about it. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for the opportunity, and thank one more time Professor Krishnan and the entire team. Thank you all the students for your wonderful introduction, so much energy and enthusiasm during introducing your own new babies of Mavericks and Byte Buster. Thank you all the very best.
Thank you, sir. It was a dictative session. Throughout the event, we have learned new things, and now it's the right time for a tech talk. I now request Mr. K.C. Vinod Kumar, a visionary speaker who is an IT consultant and a trainer. He will share his expertise, insight, and experience, offering us valuable perspectives on the latest trends, challenges, and opportunities in the tech industry.
Engineering kai tukla mein you are not interested. My question is, how many of you are interested to learn prompt engineering? Semi interested? If you are well interested, right, you can raise it like this. Okay, I want this session to be. Am I audible? What is prompt engineering? Anybody? Anybody? That side? What is prompt engineering? You're here to listen about prompt engineering, right? Anyone can open your mouth. Nothing wrong. What is engineering? Don't say that you're not doing engineering. Okay. The technology which we are going to learn has two different words. Prompt engineering. We'll talk about the so-called prompt in a while. Let's talk about what is this thing called engineering first. I cannot stay at that place because constantly I need to be doing the demo as well. So I'll be moving here and there. The question what I'm going to ask right now might not be a difficult question. It's quite a straightforward question. What are the different kinds of engineering you ever heard? Civil, mechanical, anything else? Computer science engineering, electronical engineering, good chemical engineering, Very good. Marine engineering. Aeronautical engineering. Textile engineering. Very, very good. Somebody from that side? Nari அந்த பக்கம் சொல்லிட்டாங்க. Can you name some engineering apart from what they have told? They told chemical engineering, computer science engineering, electronic engineering, even textile engineering. Anything else? Civil engineering. They told anything else? Okay. What is the outcome of civil engineering? If we follow a process of civil engineering, what is the outcome? Construction is a process, it's not the outcome. What is the outcome of civil engineering? Understand my question properly, everybody. If somebody does civil engineering, what is the outcome? They are saying that construction is not the outcome. It's a process. What is the outcome? So, as they say, if somebody does civil engineering, outcome may be a bridge, outcome may be a building, outcome may be a stadium, outcome may be a metro rail path, all this. And similarly, if I do chemical engineering, what would be the outcome? You just named various engineering. If we do civil engineering, what would be the outcome? Sorry, already civil engineering done, chemical engineering. Let's go to a simple thing, textile engineering. What would be the outcome? What? If you do textile engineering, what would be the outcome? Clothes is the outcome, right? Designed clothes or cloth, whatever. Software engineering, application, software, all this. So, we are here to learn a technology called prompt engineering. So, if you do prompt engineering, what would be the outcome? So, you people are here to learn about a thing called prompt engineering. Just now we understood for every kind of engineering, there is a product coming out of it. Yes or no? If you do textile engineering, textile is coming out of it. If you do civil engineering, buildings, bridges, all this are coming out of it. And if you do prompt engineering, what's going to come out of it? Or what is the product? What is the product you get because of prompt engineering? Prompt engineering ஒன்று பண்ணா என்ன கிடைக்கும்? What you will get? No one. What is prompt? Prompt is nothing but lines of text which is used to instruct something which I'll tell you now. But now let me know if, because you should have done some kind of research, right? If you're going to learn prompt engineering, at least you should have researched about a term called prompt engineering. If we do something called prompt engineering, what you will get is, somebody said the answer, but they are laughing to themselves, but the answer is correct. If you do prompt engineering, the outcome of prompt engineering is what? Prompt itself, right? So, what the session is all about, we are going to learn a new terminology called prompt engineering. First of all, we are going to understand what engineering is. And the ultimate outcome we are going to understand in the next 1 hour or so is how we are going to engineer, or how we are going to understand the process of this so-called prompt engineering to get an outcome called what? Prompt. And one of a very intelligent guy there, first of all, prompt na enna solliya. First, that's what your question. Very good question. So first of all, our aim is, because any kind of engineering is done to get what? What? Superb. Any engineering is basically done to get product. Here the product is what? Prompt. But what I'm going to do with that product? What are we going to do with that thing called prompt? What kind of benefit, if you are wearing a shirt? That's important for us. That's a basic thing. And if you are constructing a building, again, that's an important thing. Anything which is not valuable is not going to be engineered, right? So we are doing a very big process, heavily paid process for getting a thing called as prompt. But why it is? That's what we are going to learn. So first of all, before we go ahead, we have to understand any kind of engineering can be carried out primarily with, this is not standard theory or something, but we have to understand it will have 4 components, at least according to me. Number 1, any engineering can be taken care with the help of what? Skilled resources. So, if you want to do prompt engineering, you must be a resource who is skilled enough to do a thing called as generating a what? Prompt, right? So, in this particular 1 hour, what we are going to understand is how to acquire the skills needed to generate what? Not a software, not a product, or not an IT automation, anything, or an AI or anything. What we are just going to learn is a thing called as prompt, but it is a very valuable thing, right? And second, this skilled people will do what? Will be part of what? Process and workflow. If you are constructing a building, it has a process. If you are making a fabric, it has a process, right? If you are making a chemical, it has a process. So, any skilled people, first of all, they will be part of what? Process. And as a result of the process, what you will be getting is product, right? So, between this process and the skilled people, to do the process, this skilled people is going to use what? Tools and technology. So this is the basic 3 things. Skilled people do the process with the help of tools and technology to get what? Product, right? But understand, if the people are not skilled enough, right? If the people are not using right tools, and if your people are not following proper process and workflow, what you are not going to get? You'll get product, but you'll not get a quality product, right? So any form of engineering you take, any company you take, every company will have these things. They'll have people, but whether they are skillful enough is question mark. They'll use tools, whether they are qualified tools is a question mark. And they'll have a process, but whether there is a systematic process is a question mark. So if you have right skills, right tools, and right process, what you'll have is the best product. So, in everything, be it process, be it choosing your resources, be it choosing your tools and technology, what needs to be there is everywhere, be it selecting your resources, be it selecting your tools, be it taking a process, there must be quality and standard. So, any organization or any company or any process which has a standard and optimized, qualified, qualitative process and workflow, right tools and technology, right people right skillful people collaboratively working together to make a right product is basically what engineering is all about, right? Even though we are not doing engineers, we need to understand, to be an engineer, you don't need to have an engineering certificate. As long as you understand this, anybody could be an engineer, right? So what is the basic thing is, any company you take, right standards and quality, right process and workflow, right tools and technology, right people will make what? Right product. Right. I have a couple of questions. If you are doing software engineering, what tools and technology will you be using? Software engineering panna enna tools theva? Good programming languages, then computer theva. Yes or no? Network is necessary, right? And input devices, output devices, as somebody told, computer languages, and power, all this. So those are tools and technologies, languages, databases, all this. And what do you mean by skilled resource? So if you want to develop software, what kind of skills are needed? Logical thinking, problem solving, good. Anything else? This side is talking, do I need to come there? What kind of skills is needed to be a good software engineer? You can talk anything. I'll go that side. What kind of skills? What else? Problem solving, logical thinking, what else? Okay. What else? Okay, no problem. Thanks for telling that. So, any kind of engineering you do, you need basic skills, and we talked about tools and technologies. And in software engineering also, there is a proper process and workflow. Software panna, we need to have some kind of process, right? There are technologies, process mechanism like water flow model, agile model, which stipulates how this development process need to be taken care, right? Then also when we talk about software engineering, it has set of standards and quality. So any engineering you take, these things first of all, if you understand these 4 areas, you are through with that particular kind of engineering. And let me come to our actual point. We are currently going to talk about a thing called as prompt engineering. So if you want to be a prompt engineer, first of all, we need to acquire skills related to prompt engineering. Number 2, you need to understand what tools and what technology to be used to be a prompt engineer. Then what kind of process that need to be done. So let me come to the original question by somebody out there. That is primarily what is prompt, right? So prompt is nothing but few lines of plain human understandable what? Few lines of human understandable what? Text, right? So what is prompt? What is prompt? Few lines of human understandable text. But that is going to be understood by something else. Who is the other thing? Primarily it is a human understandable text, but it is going to be understood by somebody else. Who is that somebody? Machine. Can you be more specific? Have you heard the term called Gen AI? What is the difference between artificial intelligence and Gen AI? Generative AI. Prompt engineering might not be working at all areas of artificial intelligence. It's going to work at a very specific area called as generative AI, right? Have you ever heard of the term called generative AI? Yaradu? Anybody? And in the terminology itself, we have the thing called as generative AI. What is the word generative means? It's a plain English word, right? generative na English la meaning enna? In plain English, what is the meaning for the word generative or generating something? In other words, creating or producing something, right? So, an artificial intelligence, as Mr. Prakash was telling, anything which emulates the way human mind works. So, the speciality of human mind is it is able to produce something which is not there, right? இப்போ நான் பேசுகிறேன்னா அந்த வார்த்தை வந்து it wasn't spoken before. We are speaking it for the very first time. It wasn't there before 2-3 seconds. பேசுகிறப்ப தான் it is getting produced, right? So human mind is capable of producing thoughts which wasn't existing unless we speak out or unless we do something, right? So if a machine is capable of producing something similar to human mind, which is having some past experience, based on that, if it is able to generate something which is non-existent, which is quite resembling to that of human mind, that is called as AI. In AI, there is a subset. I don't want to go out of the scope of this discussion. I don't want to get deeper into what is machine learning or what is deep learning. First of all, you need to understand this artificial intelligence is a very wide area, right? So let's not discuss too much into it. Let's not go out of the scope. But for time being, just understand, in this very big area called artificial intelligence, there is a subset called machine learning. In that, there is a subset called as deep learning. And in this session, I'm not going to get into this, what is AI, what is machine learning, and what is deep learning and all. In that, there is an even more specific subset called as generative AI. Just now we have just understood that generative AI is nothing but something which produces some form of outcome. Based on what? Based on what? Generative AI is something which produces an outcome based on what? எதை வச்சு அது ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுது? See, for example, எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு there is no one here who is not using, who hasn't used chat GPT here? Who has not used chat GPT here? Who used chat GPT here? You didn't use chat GPT? No. Please raise your hands. How many of you used chat GPT? That cluster never used chat GPT? நீங்கள் chat GPT யூஸ் பண்ணது இல்லையா இந்த ஏரியா? My question is, have you ever used chat GPT or not? No. Have you ever used Google? Okay, Google is also a kind of generative AI only, no problem. So, in chat GPT or even for the matter Google, it's almost a generative AI. Let me come back to my question again. Any form of generative AI might be producing what? Text, or might be producing what? Image, or might be producing what? Videos. These are the major things. There are other things which it can do, but primarily it might be generating text, or it might be generating images, or it might be generating videos. My question again, based on what? என்ன பண்ணா ஜெனரேட் பண்ணும்? சாட் ஜிபிடியில் நீங்கள் என்ன பண்ணால் அது உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்குது இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்? Based on what it is giving? Based on the text which you are giving. That is nothing but prompt, right? So, the simple thing is, we are coming actually to the point. Our technology is prompt engineering. So, the whole process is, we are going to understand how to create a thing called as prompt. to pass it to whom? A system called as generative AI to produce what? It could be text, it could be images, or it could be anything which is manipulatable. So, the special sect or the special subset in artificial intelligence which is capable of generating the required information by taking prompt from the user is nothing but a generative AI. For example, ChatGPT is a very common example for generative AI. For example, earlier it was called as BART, Google AI, and GitHub Copilot or Microsoft Copilot we call it. These are examples for what? Generative AI. So let me consolidate the point. AI is again, as I've been repeating, I might be sounding repetitive, but I just want to establish the point very clearly. This so-called prompt engineering is specific to a thing called as what? Gen AI. Gen AI is not a complex term, very simple thing. It is capable of generating what? Outcome based on prompt. So prompt, in many places, many professionals I have interacted when at least you haven't answered it, but many people confidently answer it. When we ask what is prompt engineering, people say that the science of giving prompts to get response, right? The science of giving prompts to produce an outcome. But my question is it prompt engineering? You will not last 10 minutes ketirkinga. Is it prompt engineering? Prompt engineering na adva. I repeat the point. If I ask someone, they say that by giving prompt, getting desired response is called as prompt engineering. That is a general response given by anybody. Is it prompt engineering? Prompt engineering na adva. Last 10 minutes I spoken repeatedly to tell you what is prompt engineering. Is it prompt engineering? Then what is prompt engineering? So I repeat, யாரை கேட்டாலும் என்ன சொல்கிறாங்க அப்படின்னா ஒரு ப்ராம்ப்டை கொடுத்து ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் வாங்கினா அதுக்கு பேர் தான் ப்ராம்ப்ட் இன்ஜினியரிங். பட் நான் இப்போ சொன்னதில்லை, இவ்வளோ நேரம் பேசி சொன்னது என்ன, அது ப்ராம்ப்ட் இன்ஜினியரிங் கிடையாது. ஐ ஆல்ரெடி டோல்ட் யூ வாட் இஸ் ப்ராம்ப்ட் இன்ஜினியரிங். ப்ராம்ப்ட் இன்ஜினியரிங்னா என்ன? Doing a systematic process to understand or to formulate a way to generate a text. எது கொடுத்தா எனக்கு அவுட்புட் வருமோ அந்த டெக்ஸ்ட்டை கிரியேட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு பேர் தான் என்ன? Prompt engineering. So first of all, whatever we learn, we need to have a clear-cut idea of what we are understanding. அதிலே தப்பு நடந்துருச்சுன்னா it's difficult, right? So we have to understand prompt engineering is not about giving prompts and getting the outcome. That is not the skill. Prompt engineering is all about understanding how to create prompts, right? Why it is such a sought after skill? People are paying millions per annum for people who is able to come up with right prompts, right? So prompt kudukka therinjavangalukku there is a huge value in the industry because மனுஷன் கிட்ட பேசி தேவையானது எப்படியாவது வாங்கிடலாம். பட் மிஷின் கிட்ட பேசி வாங்குறது இட்ஸ் வெரி 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 டிஃபிகல்ட். ஏன்னா we may need a precise thing. நீங்கள் கேட்டது கேட்ட மாதிரி கொடுக்காது, ரைட்? ஒன்று எக்ஸ்ட்ராவாக பேசும், இல்லை கம்மியாக பேசும், ரைட்? ஆர் சம்மந்தம் இல்லாமல் பேசும். அது சம்மந்தம் இல்லாததான் பேசுன்னு ஃபஸ்ட் நம்மளுக்கு தெரியணும். we need to understand, right? AI is not magic, AI is not super intelligent. Any day the superior thing is what? Human intelligence or artificial intelligence? எது superior? Which is superior? Human intelligence or artificial intelligence? வசீகரன் பெரியாளா சிட்டி ரோபோ பெரியாளா? ரைட். ஸோ யாருக்கு வேல்யூன்னா நம்ம எப்படி பேசினா அதுக்கிட்ட இந்த விஷயம் வாங்க முடியுமோ we need to understand how to talk with it, right? Unfortunately இப்போ only a doctor knows how to talk with a patient, right? Only a teacher knows how to talk with a student, right? எதனால ப்ராம்ப்ட்ன்றது சிம்பிள் விஷயம் தானே. இட் இஸ் சாட் ஜிபிடி இஸ் டு அவைலபிள் வித் எவ்ரிபடி. எல்லாருமே சாட் ஜிபிடியில் டைப் பண்ணுறோம். சப்போஸ் ஒரு ப்ரோக்ராமிங் அசைன்மெண்ட் இஃப் சம்படி இஸ் ஆஸ்கிங் யூ டு டூ, பண்ணி நாளைக்கு எடுத்துகிட்டு வேணா பண்ணி எடுத்துகிட்டு வந்துடும், காமிச்சிடும். எஸ் ஆர் நோ? அண்ட் ஒரு ப்ரோக்ராம் எழுதி காட்டு அப்படின்னா we are able to produce it. ஸோ ஒரு சர்ச் பண்ணால் வந்துடுது, எனக்கும் ப்ராம்ப்ட் இன்ஜினியரிங் தெரிஞ்சிருச்சு அப்படின்ட்டு we cannot just understand that we know it, right? அது என்னன்னா அந்த பர்டிகுலர் பிளேஸில் we are 10 லைன் கொடுத்ததுன்னா உங்களுக்கு தேவையானதை நீங்கள் கட் பண்ணி எடுக்க முடியும். பட் இன் இன்ஜினியரிங் இன் மேக்கிங் ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் நீங்கள் கேட்குறது அது ப்ரிசைஸாக கொடுக்கணும், அப்போ தான் ஆட்டோமேட் பண்ண முடியும்னா we cannot do it. So people who is able to produce prompts are highly valued because it's not a simple job. They need to understand. இப்போ ஜஸ்ட் நான் ஒரு 5 minutes சொன்ன மாதிரி பேஷண்ட்டு பேசினா டாக்டருக்கு தான் தெரியும், பிகாஸ் தே நோ வாட் த ப்ராப்ளம் ஆஃப் தட் பேஷண்ட் ஹேஸ். இப்போ நம்ம பேஷண்ட் யார்? ஹூ இஸ் அவர் பேஷண்ட்? ஜென் ஏஐ. ஸோ ஜென் ஏஐ அப்படின்றது இட் இஸ் ஏபிள் டு ப்ரொடியூஸ் டூ மெனி திங்ஸ். பட் அதுக்கிட்ட எப்படி பேசினா எனக்கு தேவையானது வருமோ, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் வி மஸ்ட் பி இன்டெலிஜென்ட் எனஃப் டு எக்ஸ்ட்ராக்ட் த திங். ரேண்டமாக பேசினா ரேண்டமாக தான் வரும், ரைட்? ஸோ திஸ் session is all about understanding how to speak with generative AI to get responses in a way you want. I have listed out too many things out there. For example, if somebody wants to be a proper prompt engineer or somebody who knows how to prompt things, the core expertise, maybe, see, please understand, you have every place people will not get an opportunity to hear two things, right? They will not make you sit, make you understand happening technologies, right? So if we have got this 40 or 50 minutes, today you might be standing at a position, but please get into the things and please put a seed in your mind what things you can accumulate in future when you go out of your college. Idhila ethana skills we can accumulate. As Prakash was telling, maybe idhila few technologies illama kuda polam, but anything you acquire will have a value always. So what I'm trying to tell here is, at least keep this terminologies in mind. Maybe after this session you can go back and check what these terminologies are. So right now, I don't want to get deeper into what this technologies means, but understand if somebody wants to be an effective prompt engineer, first of all they need to understand a technology called as, what is? Natural language processing. And I don't want to elaborate this session too much by talking what is natural language processing. But keep it as a seed in your mind. You try to go and explore after the session what is NLP. So NLP is a very, very, very happening and a popular as well as sought after skill in information technology, right? And second, already most of you told proficiency in bit of programming languages, yes. And just now, 5 or 10 minutes back, I was telling, if you want to talk with a Gen AI, you need to understand it. So primarily, any kind of generative AI internally works because of what? The machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms, which is working under current to generate the output. So உங்களுக்கு ML எப்படி வேலை செய்யும், or AI எப்படி வேலை செய்யும், deep learning எப்படி வேலை செய்யும் அப்படின்னு, if you don't have understanding, you will not have a proper grip on generating the prompts. And you should inculcate prompting techniques. That is what I'm going to tell you up next. So these areas, I leave it to you. So I'm just seeding the point that to get a proper expertise in area, one need to inculcate this concepts. Anyway, you'll be acquiring programming language expertise, and you need to focus on a thing called as NLP. So you go and check what is NLP, and if you do programming languages, automatically they'll teach you what is API, what is REST API, what is API integration, how to call APIs, what is get method, post method, put method. Very, very important. Nothing happens in the world, particularly in the IT world, without APIs. So you need to understand what is API, what is API integration, key focus areas, right? Then, of course, I'll talk about all this in a while. So these are the technical skills. So I repeat, if somebody wants to be a prompt engineer, they need to have both technical as well as non-technical skills. So I repeat, the primary technical skills one needs to gain with time. See, prompt engineering, as I just told, it's a text. But on the text generate pandrathu, that expertise cannot be gained in a day or two. We need to have expertise on variety of things. So primarily, these technical skills we need to understand, because if you want to talk with Gen AI, understanding on the technology is quite important. So what non-technical skills is important is, end of the day, you're going to talk in English, human understandable language. So you prompt you're going to give it with the help of natural language. I'm saying what is natural language processing. That's how process natural language. What input you are giving us? Natural language. Natural language, but we need to have an understanding about how natural language is processed by a computer. First, natural language, we have to speak. Right? So the primary non-technical skill, or the skill which we need to understand, is you need to have an effective communication, particularly written communication. Prompt chat GPT kitta or prompt kudukkradhukku neenga adike or prompt kudupanga nariya per. Do you understand it or not? For example, you want to have a JSON output. ஒரு JSON output எப்படி வாங்குறதுன்னு prompt கொடுக்கிறதுக்கே நீங்கள் prompt நிறைய பேர் கொடுப்பாங்க, right? So that should not be the way. We need to understand how to communicate properly, and most importantly, other things நீங்கள் படிச்சுக்கோங்க. Let's not. Very important is what? What am I showing now? Subject matter expertise. Current எதுக்காக prompt கொடுக்குறீங்களோ, whatever the current thing which you are working at, அது பற்றி உங்களுக்கு தெரியல அப்படின்னா, there is no point in giving a prompt. For example, your current application may be a database related application, right? So if you are doing a prompt for database related application, we need to have a subject matter expertise on databases. So for example, if you are prompting something to get something automated for Excel sheet, you need to know how Excel sheet works. If you want to prompt something to get something related to Java programming, you need to know what Java does. So there are many things which most of you should have read by now, but two important things to understand is, when you are trying to generate a prompt, number one, you need to have proper communication skills, and also you need to have primary understanding of the subject matter. If you are not clear about the subject matter, again it's not possible, it is problematic. So I have talked too much theoretically. Let me show how things works. So summa theory pesama, let us try to understand what is this thing all about. I'll show you a sample prompt which is done for a company. I'm not showing the complete application. I'm just going to show you how we communicated with Gen AI to generate a prompt to get the desired outcomes. So just now I have spoken about subject matter expertise. So first of all, when you are doing prompts, there will be a problem and you need a solution for the problem. Who is going to give the solution for you? ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கும், அதுக்கு ஒரு சொல்யூஷன் வேணும். உங்களுக்கு இந்த கான்டெக்ஸ்ட் படி who is going to give the solution for you? Generative AI. எது கொடுத்தா சொல்யூஷன் கிடைக்கும்? ப்ராம்ப்ட் கொடுத்தா சொல்யூஷன் கிடைக்கும். அண்ட் அந்த ப்ராப்ளத்தை நீங்கள் டீல் பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா அது எந்த சப்ஜெக்டோ அந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் மேலே யூ நீட் டு ஹாவ் அ பிட் ஆஃப் எக்ஸ்பர்டைஸ். ஸோ ஐ எம் கோயிங் டு ஷோ யூ அ ப்ராப்ளம். பிஃபோர் ஐ கோ டு த ப்ராப்ளம், because I have chosen according to whatever you might have learned so far in your courses. So how many of you know, I mean, you should have got what is databases by now? Yes or no? Amava illaya? Databases, database management system. Yes or no? No? No problem. So have you ever heard a thing called as structured query language, SQL? SQL, yes or no? So point is, database is, in a very layman term if I have to tell you, database management system is something primarily holds what? Tables, right? And tables which are related with each other. And if you want to talk with a database management system, what language is needed? As I have just told, structured query language. I repeat, database கிட்ட நீங்க பேசணும் அப்படின்னா structure query language. And நீங்க வேணா you go to Stack Overflow or anywhere you go and search information technology la which language has employed most number of human resources in history நீங்க தேடி பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா what language will come? SQL. Till date, SQL, it's a very, very simple technology, but for years together, for the past 40-45 years, people who are able to write SQL queries are most sought after, right? As we have just discussed, SQL query is something which is given to obtain required information from tables, right? So that is the job. இப்போ அங்கே தான் ஹியூமன் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் இஸ் கம்மிங், ரைட்? ஸோ வி கிரியேட் டேபிள்ஸ், டேபிளில் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் இருக்குது, வி கிவ் SQL query டு கெட் த desired outcome. ஹியூமன் மூளை எங்கே வேலை செய்யணும்னா அந்த query கிரியேட் பண்ணுறதுல we need to work. பட் அதே நம்ம பண்ண மாட்டோம். we just want to get it done with the help of AI. So I don't want to get deep into the technicalities, but very, very simply I'll just tell you how things work here. So I have a database here. In this particular file, I have a database. I'm using a database called SQLite here. And in the database, you need to give the query and you need to get the information. But what we are going to do is, instead of giving the data or query, just understand, look at the screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tables. Actually speaking, நீங்கள் table create பண்ணா each table will have columns will have data types, and it will have constraints, primary key, foreign key. Too many things will be there. But I'm not giving that much information also because we know the capability of Gen AI. What we are going to do is, we are going to feed this information. That is, not too much depth into technicalities. What I'm just going to communicate with the AI system is, I'm going to just tell countries, departments, dependents, employees, jobs, locations. I'm just going to tell, I have 7 tables, right? And I have these columns in the table. Did I tell the AI system, இப்போ வந்து country name, actually country name, is it a string or integer? Country name na string or integer? String. Country ID string or integer? Country ID string or integer. In this context, assume that integer. And street address might be a string. Postal code might be integer. Actually speaking, we have to feed at the end of data type, everything we need to feed. But even I'm not doing that. I'm just specifying what are my tables and what columns are there. Gen AI is very generic in nature, and very, very important is, it knows natural language processing, contextually. Another, I'm pointing out the term called as NLP. So, it is capable enough, first name nu onnu kudutave, since it is very broader in its functionality, ninga first name nu onnu kudutave, அது ஸ்ட்ரிங்காக தான் இருக்கும் அப்படின்றது அதனால் அசியூம் பண்ணிக்க முடியும். அன்லெஸ் இட் இஸ் டூ அவுட் ஆஃப் கான்டெக்ஸ்ட். ஸ்டேட், ப்ராவின்ஸ் அப்படின்னாவே அது ஸ்ட்ரிங்காக தான் இருக்கும்னு அதனால் அசியூம் பண்ணிக்க முடியும். region name a string da irukonu assume panikka mudiyum. So I don't need to give too much information. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to feed this structure with OpenAI, which is a Gen AI system. So என்கிட்ட 7 டேபிள் இருக்குது. I'm not going to write queries of my own. என் டேபிள்ஸ் இது தான் அப்படின்ட்டு I'm going to just communicate it with the Gen AI system. So first of all, whatever the Gen AI system which you are going to work with, nobody gives the service for free. Ninga endha service la work panna poringlo, they will be giving you some token or something, right, to interact with the system, right? So I'm going to use a generative artificial intelligence system called as what? OpenAI. In fact, ChatGPT works based on what? OpenAI models, right? So if you create an account with them, you can create a key. So we have just pasted the key there. And what we are primarily doing is, we are going to create a prompt. Here is what, in next 2-3 minutes, I'll tell you a few more important things regarding prompt engineering. But in that, what you need to understand is, when you're talking with a Gen AI system, you have to define clear-cut roles. So as user, number enna input kudupon, we need to clearly specify. And what AI has to do, we need to clearly specify. So simple text kudutha mattum podadhu. It is not good to give text alone. Ninga idhaan prompt, right? What you are giving or what you are asking the system to do is prompt, but don't give it in the form of simple text. Define the roles. நான் text கொடுக்குறேன், அது நான் பண்ணுற வேலையா நீ பண்ணுற வேலையா அப்படின்ட்டு we need to clearly communicate, right? So here I have 2 forms of text. The first text is meant to be processed by whom? AI. The second text is meant to be given by whom? User. So when you are building a prompt, first of all you have to clearly define roles, right? So in the process, so first of all let me define the problem. The problem solve பண்றதுக்காக இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் நம்ம எழுதியிருக்கோம் அப்படின்னா, so generally when you want to communicate with the databases, what language need to be used? SQL need to be used. Based on that, you'll get the desired response. But நம்ம SQL-க்காக யோசிக்க போகிறதில்ல. டேபிள் இதுதான் சொல்லிட்டா நான் ஹியூமன் ரீடபிள் லாங்குவேஜஸில் இன்புட் கொடுத்தா இட் வில் பி கிவிங் த query மட்டும் கொடுக்கறது இல்லாமல் இட் will also be executing and it will also be giving the results, right? But அதுக்கிட்ட டேட்டா எப்படி கிடைக்கும்ன்றது we'll talk about. So at this point of time when we are building the prompts, primarily we need to understand, we need to clearly say what AI needs to do and what you will be giving to this. So here, as user, first of all, put to get the database schema description. So I'm instructing the AI system, that is user will be giving a schema name, and the schema name vachi we are asking the AI system to get the schema description, and we are asking the AI system to do what? Analyze the tables, and what we are telling us, என்ன ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் இருக்கும் அப்படின்றது நீயே கண்டுபிடிச்சிக்கோ. We are not going to tell, right? We are giving the table names and we are asking the system to even infer the relationship between the tables. So I'm giving very, very minimal information, just table names and the column names. I am asking the AI system to derive the relationship between the tables. Not just a table name தான் கொடுத்திருக்கேன், but I'll ask the AI system to automatically understand what is the relationship between those 7 tables to solve the upcoming prompts. Now future prompts கொடுப்பேன், you need to solve it. At this point of time, I'm going to give the schema name as HR. So what instruction did I give us? Run the function. So எந்த ஃபங்க்ஷனை ரன் பண்ணோம் நான் கீழே சொல்லியிருப்பேன். So I have used a tool to get the schema. The actual function that needs to be called as get schema. Right? So என்னோட லோக்கல் சிஸ்டத்தில் the get schema ஓட கோட் என்ன? HR னு ஒன்று கொடுத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா it will read schema.txt file. So இந்த ஃபைலை ரீட் பண்ணி அடுத்து இது என்ன பண்ணணும், what it will do is it will feed it to the AI system. So நீங்கள் கொடுத்த ஸ்கீமா நீங்கள் என்ன அசியூம் பண்ணிங்கன்னா you can have multiple schemas. நான் இங்கே ஒரே ஒரு ஸ்கீமா வச்சு தான் எக்ஸாம்பிள் பண்ணியிருக்கேன், but in real time you can feed any schema into this application. For demonstration purpose I have just kept one schema. So after reading the schema file, the AI system will start analyzing it. அதுக்கப்புறம் still we are continuing. What we are saying is, please listen for the next 2 minutes. Gen AI is not designed to work with, is it designed to work with SQL alone? It is not designed to work with SQL alone. அது SQL query generate பண்ணுறதுக்காக மட்டும் இல்லை, right? It knows Java, it knows Python, it knows JSON, it knows AI, it knows machine learning algorithms. So it is broader, right? நீங்கள் ரொம்ப ஜென்ரலாக பேசுனீங்க அப்படின்னா அது எது பண்ணணும்னு தெரியாது. ஸோ யூ நீட் டு கம்ப்ரெஸ் இட்ஸ் ரேஞ்ச். ஸோ நீங்கள் என்ன சொல்லணும்னா தெளிவாக அதுக்கு ஒரு ரோல் டிஃபைன் பண்ணுறீங்க. சின்ஸ் இட் இஸ் வெரி ஜென்ரிக், நீ அவ்வளோலாம் யோசிக்காத, அது ஃபஸ்ட்டு புரிய வைக்கிறோம். யூ ஆர் அன் அசிஸ்டண்ட். நான் கொடுக்க போகிற வேலையை செய்கிறதுக்கு யூ ஆர் அன் அசிஸ்டண்ட். யூ ஷுட் நாட் திங்க் டூ மச். Current job of your AI system is what? To produce SQL query. Other than the value say kudad. So even though Gen AI is capable of doing 2 things, but if you are making an application with it, you should restrict it to your needs. நீங்கள் என்ன ப்ராப்ளத்துக்கு டீல் பண்ணுறீங்களோ அதுக்கு அதை கொண்டு வரணும். ஸோ யூ ஆர் ஆஸ்கிங் இட் டு ப்ரொடியூஸ் எஸ்கியூஎல் queries அண்ட் திரும்பவும் அந்த சிஸ்டத்துக்கு மைண்டில் ஏற்றுறோம் என்னென்ட்டு யூ ஆர் கேப்பபிள் ஆஃப் ஜெனரேட்டிங் ஃபைன் டியூன்ட் எஸ்கியூஎல் queries ஈச் அண்ட் எவ்ரி பீஸ் ஆஃப் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன். தேவையில்லாமல் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் கொடுக்கக்கூடாது, தேவையான இன்ஃபர்மேஷனை கொடுக்காமையும் விடக்கூடாது. If you have been listening carefully for the past 10 minutes, நான் என்ன டேட்டாபேஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணுறேன்னு சொன்னேன், என்ன டேட்டாபேஸ் ப்ராடக்ட் யூஸ் பண்ணுறேன்னு சொன்னேன். வாட் ப்ராடக்ட் ஐ எம் யூஸிங் ஆஸ் அ டேட்டாபேஸ்? I've been explaining, I was showing the tables. What database product I am using? We are using a database called SQLite. அது நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சால் போதாது, ஜென்ஏஐக்கும் தெரியணும். பிகாஸ் even though SQL is common, but functions, small keywords, database to database, it may vary. So every piece of information is important. நான் அதுக்கு தெளிவாக சொல்கிறேன். You are capable of generating fine-tuned SQL queries, and I make a clear-cut note called what? For SQLite DB, right? And I'm telling further again to analyze the table, create relationships, and if the user prompts for a query, எக்ஸ்ட்ராவா ஊருக்கு அதெல்லாம் பேசாத, கிளியராக சொல்கிறேன். நோ அடிஷ்னல் டெக்ஸ்ட், தேவையில்லாமல் எதுவும் பேசாத. I want what? Only the query. Because the problem with Gen AI is it is too generic in nature, right? It knows various things. You need to restrict it. Restrict பண்ணால் you need to be very clear. So first of all, நீ 1000 வேலை பண்ணலாம், எனக்கு இந்த கான்டெக்ஸ்ட்டுக்கு இதெல்லாம் தேவையில்லை. What we are saying, you are an what? SQL assistant. உன்னோட வேலை என்ன? I will give you the schema. நீ என்ன பண்ணணும்? You need to analyze it. Analyze பண்ணி நீயா புரிஞ்சுக்கணும் என்ன? What is the relationship between the tables? அதுக்கப்புறமா நான் கேட்டேன்னா நீ என்ன கொடுக்கணும் சொல்லியிருக்கோம்? You need to give a query. query-யை மட்டும்தான் கொடுக்கணும், அதுக்கு முன் கதை பின் கதைலாம் பேசக்கூடாது. பிகாஸ் நீங்கள் சொல்லணும் அது செய்யாது, எக்ஸ்ட்ராவாக பேசும் அது, ரைட்? ஸோ இட் வில் டெல் இந்த query எப்படி டெரைவ் பண்ண, இந்த query-னால் என்ன நடக்கும், அந்த கதைலாம் நம்மளுக்கு தேவையில்லை. வாட் we need is only the query. And at last we are clearly telling if the user prompts for a query from the table, but நீங்கள் சாட் ஜிபிடியில் பேசும்போது இவ்வளோ கதை பேச மாட்டீங்க, ரைட்? சிம்பிளாக இதை பேஸ்ட் பண்ணி எங்கள் query கேட்டால் வரும், பட் முன்னாடி டெக்ஸ்ட் இருக்கும் பின்னாடி டெக்ஸ்ட் இருக்கும். பட் when you go for application development, எது தேவையோ we need to clearly extract. Extra text will not make automation process. So we need to have a clear-cut thinking of how we phrase the things, how we put the things. Then finally we are saying if the user prompts for a query from table that is not mentioned in the schema, ஒருவேளை தப்பு நடந்தால் என்ன நடக்கணும்னு சொல்லணும். I'll take. So the last and final thing is we should also be intelligent enough in instructing what not to do. ஒருவேளை if some query is given which is not mentioned, we are instructing the system to say this information is not in the given schema. தேவையானது மட்டும் சொல்லக்கூடாது, எது தேவையில்லையோ that also you need to say, right? If something is going out of the context, இது பண்ணாத அப்படின்னும் தெளிவாக சொல்லணும், and we need to minimize it. நம்மளும் தேவையில்லாம கதை பேசக்கூடாது. Exactly whatever that needs to be instructed, we need to be instructing, and we need to get the appropriate things. So we have built clear-cut role definition. Look at this. Maximum we have written is some 80 lines of code and some functions to get the schema, and finally remember, இப்போ நீங்கள் டேபிள் நேம்ஸ் சொல்லிட்டீங்க. டேபிள் எங்கே இருக்கும்? டேபிள் ஜென்ஏஐ கிட்ட இருக்குமா, நம்ம கிட்ட இருக்குமா? டேபிள் எங்கே இருக்கும்? டேபிள் எங்கே இருக்கும்? ஸோ we are doing a ப்ராடக்டோடைய ப்ராப்ளம் என்னென்னா டேட்டாபேஸோட query பண்ணணும். டேட்டாபேஸ் எங்கே இருக்குது? நம்மக்கிட்ட இருக்குது, ரைட்? query யார் பண்ணோம்? நம்ம தான் பண்ணோம். பட் query யோசிக்கிற அளவுக்கு டைம் இல்லை. we need query from AI சிஸ்டம். அதுக்கு தான் இவ்வளோ வேலை பண்ணியிருக்கோம். பட் அது கொடுக்குற query யார் எக்ஸிக்யூட் பண்ண போகிறோம்? we are going to execute. ஸோ அதுக்கு நம்ம தான் கோட் எழுதி ஆகணும். பிகாஸ் அதுக்கிட்ட இல்லை, அதுக்கிட்ட இருந்தால் அது கொடுக்கும். பட் unfortunately database is with us, and we should not give the database also to the AI system, because for a business problem business data will be with us, right? So AI கொடுக்குற query-யை வாங்கி என்னோட லோக்கல் சிஸ்டத்தில் நான் என்ன பண்ண போகிறேன்னா அந்த query-யை டெஸ்ட் பண்ணி செக் பண்ணி I'll execute it, and I'm going to check whether it works or not, right? So let us check. இதுக்கு primary-ஆ we need to have an open AI account which is active. Number 2, database which is running, right? Number 3, the prompt needs to be working. Number 4, internet needs to be working because OpenAI is online. இதெல்லாம் ஒழுங்காக இருந்தால் வேலை செய்யும். இவ்வளோ ஓவர் கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டாக பேசிட்டு வேலை செய்யலாம் கஷ்டம். Let us see. I don't do any graphical work here because hope you understood what I'm trying to do here. So I'm running the program and it's an application. நம்ம இங்கே கொடுக்கறது prompt இல்லை, இங்கே கொடுக்கறது prompt இல்லை. It's a natural language spoken by a human being. And the natural language spoken by a human being is going to be converted into a AI prompt. For that we coded it. This is what we call engineering the systematic prompt which is generated with the help of the input which you are giving. நம்ம கொடுக்குற இன்புட்டை ப்ராம்ப்டாக கன்வெர்ட் பண்ண போகிறோம். Already we have put lot of text in instructing the OpenAI system. So what I am going to do is SQL, database கிட்ட பேசினா SQL பேசணும். பட் நம்ம SQL பேச போகிறதில்ல. Human readable language. Person earning maximum salary. I'm not telling the table name. I'm not telling the column name. I'm speaking in a very, very generic term, and it should relate things to the schema which you have given. So we are pressing enter. நம்ம என்ன சொன்னோம், ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் கூட ஓவராக பேசாது. ஆக்சுவலாக அது ஓவராக பேசிட்டு இருந்துச்சு, நான் ப்ராம்ப்ட் கொடுத்தோன்னே தான் நிறுத்துச்சு. பிகாஸ் இட் would have given some pretext. The query you have asked for is, அது நம்மளுக்கு தேவையில்லை, ரைட்? நம்மளுக்கு தேவை query தான். The query you have asked for is, அது சொல்ல தேவையில்லை. What we need is this. ஏன்னா நீங்கள் பண்ண போகிறது அப்ளிகேஷன். எக்ஸ்ட்ரா டெக்ஸ்ட்டை வந்து கட் பண்ணி எடுக்கிறது வெரி வெரி டிஃபிகல்ட். Do you understand or not? உங்களுக்கு என்ன தேவை? query. நீங்கள் query கேட்கும்போது queryயை மட்டும் கொடுக்காம முன்னாடி ஒரு 10 லைன் பின்னாடி ஒரு 10 லைன் இருந்தால் அதை கட் பண்ணி எடுக்கிறது வெரி வெரி டிஃபிகல்ட். ஒவ்வொரு வாட்டி அது 10 லைன் கொடுத்தா கவுண்ட் பண்ணி எடுக்கலாம். ஒரு வாட்டி 10 லைன், ஒரு வாட்டி 3 லைன், ஒரு வாட்டி 2 லைன். இட்ஸ் டிஃபிகல்ட். ஸோ we have to get it appropriately. So we clearly told that query தவிர எதுவும் கொடுக்காது அப்படின்ட்டு. So it has given the query. And if you know the SQL properly, எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு இந்த query தப்பு கிடையாது. Clearly it says select star from employees where salary is equal to a subquery select max salary. So it has 100% accurately come up with exact table name because we have fed the table name clearly. So என்னோட திருப்திக்கு நான் என்ன செக் பண்ணிக்கிறேன்னா, லோக்கலாக I'll be checking it. Do you want to evaluate the query? I feel that it is correct. So I give yes. And according to this particular case, in the table, Steven அப்படின்றவனுக்கு தான் I think maximum salary is there. So let me run one more time. So I'm giving one more human readable text. Department with maximum number of employees. It again it proved its worth. இந்த வாட்டி கொடுத்தது வந்து ஒரு டேபிளை பேஸ் பண்ணதில்லை. நான் பேசுறது என்ன, ஹியூமன் ரீடபிள் லாங்குவேஜ். என்ன சொல்லியிருக்கேன், டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் வித் மேக்ஸிமம் நம்பர் ஆஃப் எம்ப்ளாயீஸ். இன் a way அது ஜென்ரேட் பண்ணால் இட் நீட்ஸ் டு ஒர்க் ஆன் 2 different tables. It needs to work on department table as well as employee table. As you could see, ஆனால் இங்கே 2 tablesல ஒர்க் பண்ணல. It has fetched department ID alone. So let me evaluate it. See, if you are interested enough, you can find small nuances how things need to be tuned. இங்கே நல்லா கவனிச்சு பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, நான் யூசர் ப்ராம்ப்ட் கொடுக்கும்போது very casually gave department with maximum number of employees. So அது என்ன அசியூம் பண்ணிச்சுன்னா, இவனுக்கு டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் ஐடி கொடுத்தா போதும், டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் நேம் இட்ஸ் நாட் பிரிண்டிங். எஸ் ஆர் நோ? Look at the query, it is not concentrating on the department name. இது ஒரு டேபிளை வச்சே வந்துருமே அப்படின்ட்டு அது முடிவு பண்ணிச்சு. வரும். Sorry, I didn't give the input. Let me paste the same thing again. It generates the same query. I say yes. Look at this, department ID, number of employees are 7. But எனக்கு தேவையானது கொஞ்சம் ரீஃபைன் பண்ணி நான் தான் கேட்கணும். ஒரே டெக்ஸ்ட் தான் கொடுக்குறேன், பட் ஸ்லைட்லி ஐ வேரி. டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் கேட்டதுனால அது ஐடி கொடுத்தா போதும்னு நினச்சிட்டு லெட் மீ புட் நேம் கூடான்னு கேட்குறேன். ஐ எம் ஆஸ்கிங் ஃபார் நேம். லுக் அட் திஸ். Very immediately it understood this guy is asking for name. So name எங்கே இருக்குன்றது அதுக்கு ஸ்கீமா தெரிஞ்சதுனா it is understanding it. So it searched for departments table, it combined employees table with departments table, and it is able to generate the outcome. If now I say yes, look at this, it has got department name also. So here, out of this case study, what we understood is, because of a thing called prompt, we replaced human intelligence. எந்த இடத்துல human intelligence replace ஆயிருக்கு இந்த particular problemல? At what place human intelligence is replaced with artificial intelligence? We just seen a case study, and I defined the problem and I have shown the outcome. In the overall problem, in what place human intelligence is replaced with artificial intelligence? எந்த இடத்துல replace ஆயிருக்கு? What place? But that intelligence has fed millions of people for the past 40 years. கடந்த 40 வருஷத்துல millions of employees were working on a single skill called as thinking about a query for a given problem. Ana, if you are able to make a proper prompt, proper systematically engineered prompt with proper accuracy without any kind of mistakes, if you are able to feed the right information to a Gen AI system, நம்ம எதுவுமே பண்ணல. We kept it very, very minimal. In fact, table oda structure la in this data type, that data type, we didn't say anything. We just feed the table schema and we talked with it in plain text terms. It is exactly giving what we are need, and we are able to establish the outcomes. So, we need to understand, as I was talking a couple of minutes back, when you want to do proper prompt engineering, what matters is, number one, your communication. How you communicate to the AI. Number two, என்ன communicate பண்ணோன்னு தெரியும்னா, first of all, we need to have the subject matter expertise. இப்போ இந்த வேலையை நான் இதை வச்சு செய்யணும்னு தெரிஞ்சா பண்ணணும்னா, first I need to know what should be fed into it. And we need to know how it would respond. Accordingly, we need to say what to be done as well as what not to be done. If you are able to feed all this properly and appropriately, we will be able to build an appropriate prompt. Actually speaking, I would say this is not a well-engineered prompt. It is the primary approach to create a prompt, but technology as well as tools has so evolved that prompt can be created even more effectively. But considering time and interest factor, all this into consideration, I'm cutting short what I wanted to communicate. But I hope I have given the insight about how things works. But before I conclude, what I want to communicate is, there are a lot of things to talk, but the seed is important primarily since our discussion is all about getting acquainted with a new technology or terminology. I hope I have pushed the necessary seed. Before I conclude, so whenever you are making a prompt, as I have just shown in the case study example, please recollect the past 5 minutes, 10-15 minutes, whatever I have talked about. Prompt engineering panno appadina, first of all, ultimata, what you need is very important. Prime focus, adu romba focus panna vendiya vishayam. Enna output venumo, adha தாண்டி you should not ask for the AI to generate anything. உங்களுக்கு SQL வேணும்னா SQL மட்டும்தான் வரணும். நீங்கள் கொடுக்குற இன்ஃபர்மேஷனால் முன்னாடி எக்ஸ்ட்ரா டெக்ஸ்ட்டு பின்னாடி எக்ஸ்ட்ரா டெக்ஸ்ட்லாம் வரக்கூடாது. எக்ஸாக்ட்லி வாட் யூ வாண்ட் இஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஸோ first of all, when you are prompting, we need to think about what? The output format. In fact, the session oda first question enna or engineering pandringa appadina ultimately outcome is important, right? So number engineering oda outcome enna prompt, right? But prompt kuduthingna ungalku ultimate vara poradhu enna output. So neenga prompt nu create pandrathu edukaga? For the output. So we need to be very focused on the output, and if this output has to be obtained, நீங்க வேணா அந்த ப்ராப்ளம் நான் சால்வ் பண்ணதை கொஞ்சம் யோசிச்சு பாருங்க. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வாட் இஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் இஸ் எதுக்காக பண்ணுறோம் அப்படின்றது வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். அதை you need to feed it to the AI system. Number 2, clearly you have to say in that whole AI user communication, what user will be doing, you need to communicate. What the system will be doing, you need to communicate. Role definition is very, 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 very important. Adile extract texto, தேவையில்லாத பேச்சோ இல்லை unnecessary information you need to avoid, and most importantly essential information miss பண்ணக்கூடாது. In our case study, the essential information is SQL Lite database, schema, definition, right? What tables are present, and you clearly told you need SQL query, and you also told what is not needed. So you need to be very clear about what task you are doing and what role the system is doing and what user is doing, and we need to establish the context very clearly. Please, maximum 3 minutes of your attention. Context. எந்த ப்ராப்ளத்தை நீங்கள் சால்வ் பண்ணுறீங்களோ you should not go beyond that. If you observe my prompt, repeatedly I was constantly telling the system, you are an SQL assistant. நீ ஒரு SQL assistant. இதை நீ மறந்துடக்கூடாது. You should not do beyond that. So we need to establish the context. எந்த ப்ராப்ளத்தை சால்வ் பண்ணுறோமோ first of all we need to make that Gen AI understand the context. You should not make the AI go beyond it, and you need to properly give the guidelines. So if you do this 4 things properly, you'll get expected output. And in the discussion la namba prompt engineering eppadi pannonu kathittumana, I would say no. We just understood what is prompt, how it could be used to get a desired outcome. But the actual concept is prompt engineering. Enna best practices follow panni, enna kind of approach follow panni one can build a proper prompt is all about prompt engineering. But the impact of prompt is, you understand, it could potentially save thousands of hours of time, thousands of or millions of rupees, money, dollars, and sometimes even human resources also. But we, as Mr. Prakash was telling earlier, if somebody says AI replaces, replace jobs, don't trust it. It might replace, the transition of the job roles into different job role. Earlier, people might be looking for someone who is able to do queries. But right now, they might be looking for people who is able to give prompts. There is always a need for human resource, but with time, what will happen is, the roles might change. Earlier, people who know SQL might be respected, but right now people know how to get SQL query from a Gen AI might be respected, right? Maybe tomorrow something might come. Things might be changing, but ultimately human mind is the most superior thing. So enna AI vandalo, we need to constantly adapting our minds to cope up with the ever happening changes. Right? So there are a lot more things to talk, but I don't want to overdump your mind with too many things. Hope this particular session has given you the essential insight about what prompt engineering is all about. Yes or no? Yes. So if you need further any kind of input, if someone is interested to further know about it, please reach us always. Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting responses from you, but the responses was so good. And I thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your potential knowledge with us, which was truly inspiring and enlightening us. Questions are the creative acts of intelligence. Questions are not judgments made on who you are or what you are. It's that what you learned or what you thrive for. Students who have questions can raise your hands.
In which field prompt engineering is being used?
There is no field in which prompt engineering is not used. That would be the answer. It is used everywhere.
How AI is used in prompt engineering? How AI is used in prompt engineering?
Very good question, and find people laughing, but could you repeat the question?
How AI is used in prompt engineering?
Prompt engineering is something which is used to make AI work. So the right answer for your question is நம்ம பண்ணுற ஒரே ஒரு சின்ன வேலை என்னென்னா ஏஐ ஒர்க் பண்ண வைக்கிறதுக்காக. அதுதான் சொன்னேன். அப்போ நான் சொல்லும்போது அந்த ஜோக் யாருக்கும் புரியல. பட் த திங் இஸ் நம்ம மைண்ட் எப்படி யோசிக்கணும்னா ப்ராம்ப்ட் கிரியேட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு ஏஐ எப்படி யூஸ் ஆகும்னு யோசிப்போம். ரைட். த ஒன்லி ஸ்மாலஸ்ட் திங் விச் வி ஆர் டூயிங் இஸ் ஏஐ வேலை செய்ய வைக்கிறதுக்காக வி ஆர் கிவிங் ப்ராம்ப்ட். அங்கே ஒரு இடத்துல தான் இப்போதைக்கு ஹியூமன் வேலை செய்கிறோம். லெட் இட் பி தேர், இருக்கட்டுமே. அதையும் அது ஏஐ பண்ண வேணாம். So I answer his question again. His question was how AI is used in prompt engineering. But we have to understand prompt ன்னு ஒன்று கொடுத்தா தான் ஏஐ வேலை செய்யுது. அந்த ப்ராம்ப்ட் கொடுக்கறதுக்கே ஏஐ யூஸ் பண்ண வேண்டிய அவசியம் இப்போதைக்கு கிடையாது. ஏன்னா அந்த ஒரு சின்ன விஷயத்தை தான் நம்ம பண்ணுறோம். ரைட். Any other questions?
Where prompt engineering is being effectively used, okay? Where there is IT, there is an AI, right? Where there is an AI, there is a prompt engineering. Can you tell me area which does not have IT? IT is pervasive, right? It is there everywhere. And with this answer, I also wanted to give a confidence that if IT is everywhere, you know, if God is omnipresent, is everywhere there, IT is everywhere, right? When IT is everywhere, you're learning IT. If you are not going to get a job, who else will get a job, right? So please have the confidence. Only thing is you should become a very productive IT engineer. That is what AI, the prompt engineering, all this tool is going to help you out. Machine is taking over a lot of things, but to make use of the machine very productively, these technologies are coming like prompt engineering. For me to use, I said AI is emulating the human mind and taking decision, right? Whatever the test question was not there in the past. The moment you ask question, I answered it. If it's same question being put on to the AI system and check if Digitarati Prakash answers to this question, the AI will respond, right? It emulates what human can do. To make the AI work more effectively the way you wanted to a business context, we use tool like prompt engineering. Clear? Thank you so much.
Any other question?
Thank you, everyone. Thankfulness is being of great gratitude. Gratitude is the completion of thankfulness. Thankfulness may consist merely of words. Gratitude is shown in acts.
Hello. That is unplanned intervention from me. I didn't want to talk today, but the quality in which they have responded, I want to apologize to Mr. Prakash and them. I would have included third year students. And unfortunately, in our department, we are an younger department and we have only first year and second year students. And as per some other plans, we wanted to have an unique program for ourselves. And it was a mismatch, I think. So I feel sorry for the audience what was provided to you. But I will take the responsibility of explaining them. And நான் சொல்கிறது புரியலன்னு நினைக்கிறேன், பசங்களுக்கும் புரிஞ்சிருக்கான்னு தெரியல. அதாவது உங்களுடைய லெவலுக்கு அடுத்த லெவலில் ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் எடுத்து அவங்க இந்த ப்ராம்ப்ட் இன்ஜினியரிங் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. இது உங்களை விட உங்கள் சீனியர்ஸ்க்கு ரொம்ப முக்கியம். ஆனால் அது உங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் புரிய கஷ்டமாக இருக்கிறதுனால ஆஸ் யூஷுவல் நம்ம டிஸ்டர்பன்ஸ் என்ன உண்டோ அதை பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருப்போம். அதை பண்ணிக்கிட்டு தான் இருந்தோம். பட் ஐ வாண்ட் டு சே சாரி டு தெம் தட் ஐ டென்ட் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் திஸ் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் எக்ஸ்ப்ளனேஷன் அண்ட் தி லெவல் ஆஃப் எலிவேஷன் வாட் தே கிவ். அதை நான் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணலை. அதனால நான் தேர்ட் இயர்ஸை அதுவும் ஒரு அர்ஜென்ட்டாக நம்ம டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டுக்கு ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன் யூனிக்காக இருக்கணும்னு நேற்று கரஸ்பாண்டன்ட் சார் ஃபீல் பண்ணதுனால நான் அவங்க தேர்ட் இயர்ஸையும் கூப்பிட முடியல. அதனால் இது கொஞ்சம் மிஸ்மேட்ச் இருக்கலாம். பட் நான் என்ன சொல்கிறேன் அப்படின்னா, இவங்க என்ன சொன்னாங்கங்கிறத புரிய வைக்கிறது என்னோட டியூட்டி. இட் இஸ் ஐ வில் டேக் இட் ஆன் மை செல்ஃப் தட் இட் வாஸ் அன் லேர்னிங் பாயிண்ட் ஃபார் மீ ஆல்சோ. நான் என்ன கற்றுக்கிட்டனோ அதை உங்கள்கிட்ட நான் திரும்பவும் இதையே ஐ கேன் ரீடு இட். ஏன்னா இது அவங்க வந்தாங்க ஏதோ ஒரு காப்பி பண்ணி போட்டுட்டாங்கன்னு நீ நினைக்கக்கூடாது. ஐ வில் ரீடு இட் டு யூ அண்ட் ஐ வில் மேக் யூ அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் வாட் வாஸ் டிஸ்கஸ் டுடே வெரி கிளியர்லி ஸோ தட் யூ வில் get the full use of what you have heard today. You would have got something. எனக்கு முன்னாடி கொஞ்சம் பேர் நிறைய பேர் பதில் சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தான். ஃபஸ்ட் இயர் பசங்களே இருந்தால் கூட they were answering but they were not confident. பட் அந்த இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் எனக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்தது. ஐ தேங்க் them first of all. அதனால் எல்லாருமே நான் தப்புன்னு சொல்ல மாட்டேன். there are very many people who are watching it and understanding it. I am very thankful to them. and இதனுடைய எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன் என்ன, இது வாட் இஸ் ஹேப்பனிங்கிறது எனக்கே அதிசயமாக இருந்தது. கொஞ்சம் நான் இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் வி ஹாவ் டு ரன் ஃபாஸ்ட். இன்னும் நிறையா விஷயங்கள் நம்ம கற்றுக்க வேண்டியது இருக்குது. ஸோ என்னையும் சேர்த்து தான். ஐ எம் ஏ கண்டினியூஸ் லேர்னர். உனக்கு பேர் தான் ஹெச்ஓடி, பட் தி திங்ஸ் ஆர் மூவிங் ஸோ ஃபாஸ்ட் தட் ஐ ஹாவ் டு லேர்ன் ஒன்ஸ் அகைன் எ நியூ திங். அதனால் இது ஐ வில் லேர்ன் இட் அண்ட் தென் ஆஸ் ஏர்லி ஆஸ் பாசிபிள். தியரிட்டிக்கலி ஐ கேன் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் டு யூ, பட் ப்ராக்டிக்கலி டூயிங் இட் வில் டேக் டைம். ஆஸ் ஹி டோல்ட் வி ஹாவ் டு பே மணி அண்ட் தட் API key I have to get. And I would like to get it and then I will do it and I will demonstrate the same thing to you. I will take it upon myself that I will just fill the gap what we had today. இது இன்றைக்கி என்ன ஒரு நம்மக்கிட்ட ஒரு பின் தங்கி இருக்கோமோ அதை நாளைக்கு நம்ம சரிவா செய்வோங்கிறத ஒரு என்னுடைய ஒரு உத்தரவாதமாக கொடுத்துட்டு அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு சின்ன சாரி. அவங்க they will not take it up but the plan suddenly change ஆனதுனால அவங்களையும் மாற்ற முடியல. நான் அவங்ககிட்ட சொல்லலை. தேர்ட் இயர் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸுக்கு இது I would like to have an elaborate workshop on this also at the nearest future. எவ்வளோ சீக்கிரமாக இருந்ததுன்னா இது தேர்ட் இயர் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸுக்கு ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும்னு நான் நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ we will do it. ஜஸ்ட் இருந்தாலும் கொஞ்சம் you have to show more patience, I think so. புரியலன்னாலும் கொஞ்சம் கவனிக்க கற்றுக்கிட்டா நல்லாயிருக்கும். காதில் இன்றைக்கி இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள் காதில் விழுறது கஷ்டம். அது கொஞ்சம் காதில் வாங்குகிற பழக்கம் கொஞ்சம் நமக்கு நிறைய ஆனால் பரவாயில்ல. பட் let us improve ourselves. Thank you very much. The formal things will continue.
Sorry, sir. Thankfulness is the beginning of gratitude. Gratitude is the completion of thankfulness. Thankfulness may consist merely of words. Gratitude is shown in acts. I now request Ms. V.K. Nandini to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Gratitude is the closest thing to beautiful. Manifesting is an emotion. I deemed it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this wonderful occasion. Let me start by giving glory to the Almighty. First and foremost, I thank our chief guest, Mr. V. Prakash, Answers Digitality, and Mr. K.C. Vinod Kumar sir, IT consultant trainer, who despite their busy schedule have found time to grace this occasion. Following that, I would like to thank our Honorable Correspondent Sir, our respectable Principal Madam, Director Madam, HOD of Artificial Intelligence, and our HOD of Computer Science Department for organizing this interesting event. I express my heartfelt thanks to the faculty members of the department, their valuable contribution. Finally, I would like to thank our friends and gathering for their great cooperation on this day. Once again, thank you everyone.
For every introduction, there is a need for closure. I request everyone to rise up for national anthem.
जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you everyone for your gracious presence today to make this event more memorable. Student, please be seated.